Okay, welcome to day 2 recorded lesson. In case you had any glitches or you need this because you couldn't come to class today, this is the recording of today's activities. So just a few reminders that we covered. Yesterday you had a Where's Watts attendance activity. Make sure that you respond in a one-word response or just the 2 words. I do not need a sentence. Google is grading it. So it's only going to grade it by the words that I enter. So I'm not entering a sentence. So yesterday was just giant. Spelling is also important. So make sure when I show the photo or you watch the video and see the photo, you copy the correct spelling of giant. I can't go through 180 students checking for spelling errors and accepting errors. It's just way too many forms to look through each day. And then finally, make sure you're writing where my Bitmoji picture is, not where Miss Watts herself is. I am in the steam room. A lot of people wrote steam room. I get I'm in the steam room. Where is my Bitmoji? She is somewhere in Shippensburg. So make sure you are writing that as your response. So that covers that. Remember, you had a tech survey to do yesterday. If you did not turn that in, that gives me some insight on things we might need to cover and activities we might need to do to help you with some of the things that you're not so comfortable wise with technology. And then finally, just an email reminder. When you send me an email, I love it. I love to answer them. But when you're writing an email to a teacher, make sure first off, the subject, either put your name here or what it is you want help with. Like if it's a Schoology question or your name there, something so that I have a connection to what it is I need. And then in the actual email itself, please write me a description of what it is you need help with. Do not just say I'm stuck. I don't know what you're stuck on. I'm not with you. I can't see your screen. You can also take a picture. I had some pictures this morning. A quiz wasn't working. So a student showed me their screen in a screenshot and told me that the quiz wasn't enabled. That helps me. Or you can simply say Schoology quiz number 4, not enabled. Or I don't know my login for Remind. And also make sure you're watching the recorded lesson. If you're having trouble finding answers to the quizzes or any material, it is all in the lesson, and I generally show you where to find it as we're going over the lesson items. So you want to make sure you are paying attention to what we're doing in class and that you watch the recording if you need some extra help and that you look at the materials that I provided for class. Those will all be helpful. Okay, so moving right along. Remember, yesterday I taught you how to access Schoology, so you can go from the gray page under middle school links. We talked about going from the district page under parents and students. And then you could also bookmark Schoology itself to your bookmark bar by clicking on the star and bookmarking the Schoology icon right to your screen. So when we look at our courses, you click on the course, of course, that is yours, course, of course. I'm just clicking on a random one because we all have the same day too. Week 1, we are still in. We are now, you can see yesterday's work in case you did not get to that. And deadlines will be a little lenient this week and flexible. However, next week, you need to make sure you are on top of the items per day. And remember, Wednesdays, typically we will not be together live. So you will just come to your Schoology and your classroom to see what's going on for the day on Wednesdays. Today we have 3 items that you have to view and look at. And then you have 2 quiz items. You have a quiz about those 3 materials that you're required to look at and look over, as well as you have the attendance quiz, which is the Where's Watts activity. Expectations, when you open that up in Schoology, you want to make sure you have 2 options. You can view it in Schoology, like it loads right here, Or what I prefer to do, which makes it a whole lot easier for me to see this, because this is kind of squished for me, I like to click on this view button here to view it. If you want to save it to your drive, you can also download the file, and that will save to your Google Drive if you want to keep a hold of it. But it will always be available to you in this Day 2 folder. When you view it in a separate window, here's what it looks like. And you're going to go over the expectations by reading through them. These will be on the quiz, so you want to make sure you pay attention. Also, all quizzes in virtual learning are open note. So the nice thing about having it in a separate tab is I can have my quiz open and I can have my slide open for answers. Also, we will be covering how to add extensions. But if you already know how to add extensions to your Chromebook, an extension that you can have that allows you to keep multiple items up on your screen is called dual list. It allows you to have 2 tabs open. So you could have the quiz open and your other tab open at the same time, side by side, if you want. So that's a helpful one. If you don't know how to download extensions yet, we will get to that next week. The next item in your Day 2 material is the class app. The key thing I want to show you about this one as I go over it is that when you load it in Schoology, normally it says error. That's completely fine. Some materials will do that. All you have to do is click on the blue words again, and it will go ahead and open that up in a separate tab. This app is pretty cool, if I do say so myself. I made it. And it's kind of like your phone. You get to click on stuff, and it brings you to different items by clicking on the different things. If you don't know how to email very well, you can click on Contact Me, right away to my email, set up a Zoom in my calendar. You also have access to the links that we can use for class. So Schoology is there. Skyward is one you should be knowing about right now. And then one last thing is if you need tech help from tech support about your Chromebook, this is a good button to push as well. It will email the tech department from you, and you can tell them what your technology issue with your Chromebook is. So that is the class app real quick, and you can play around with it more as you go through the quiz. And then finally today you have the newsletter to open. It's another PDF. So again, you can click on View to open it up in a separate tab. And this is what that looks like. It goes over items like a welcome, important information in bold-face items, a way to email me again at my other email address, info for students, and tells you about that material, so read over that, info for your parents if they need something, and then remind codes and reminders and information down here. With the Remind app, if you have a phone, you can download the Remind app on your phone and text this message. Otherwise, you go to remind.com and sign up for an account, and then it will ask you for that code that you find right here as well for the class. So that covers the newsletter, and you can play around and read that more closely in order to answer quiz questions. There are several questions from that newsletter. And then the final thing that you need to do today is the attendance piece. And we talked about spelling, and we talked about making sure you use the correct words. So telling you where Miss Watts is today. Her Bitmoji got very hungry after a day of virtual school, and she went to Alfredo Pizza. So today it's 2 words, Alfredo and pizza in the blank, okay? Make sure you spell it correct. You can pause this video and get the correct spelling. You can Google that location, and you can have your parents order a pizza. Have a great Wednesday, and I'll see you in live class tomorrow. Remember, we meet in Zoom on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays on a typical school week. Thank you, and have a great day.